Hello my crafty friends, it's Michelle, the Southern Shell, and I decided I wanted to do a fall decoration. Since we've just moved in and we were able to clear out the storage unit, my craft room is a disaster, but I came across a lot of my supplies and some items that I've forgotten I'd had. These actually were in my fall decor. I had this was like the third set of placemats I had. I don't remember when I bought them. I didn't remember where I bought them. All of the other tags had been cut off. So I did that image Google search, and apparently these are Better Homes and Gardens, and so it probably came from Walmart. I looked on Etsy. Or was it eBay? It was eBay. I'll leave that, I'll put that picture in there real fast. So here's what I found on eBay. $10 for one placemat. I don't think so. So I am going to actually make some pillows, some just little throw pillows. They're not going to be very big, but it's just going to add a little bit more fall to my living room down there. What I am going to do is I'm actually going to take my two rust colored ones here, is get them trimmed down so that they actually match with those sides together, and it'll make it a little smaller, but I think that will be fine. And then I can stuff it, and I have some fabric that I'm actually going to create some little bows out of and put on here, so they can just like prop up and just have some other fall colors on there. So that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing, let's go ahead and get these pinned together so that I can get them matched up so they're actually the same on either side. Let me get my little scissors here. These are my big scissors. And we're just going to remove that tag there. And so what I want to do now is I am going to match up as best I can. You can tell it's been in storage with my craft stuff. It has glitter on it. And I am going to play with it, and I'll probably mute it and just maybe play some music so you can see kind of just how I'm going here. I'm not sure how well this will turn out, but we will get this figured out. So bear with me and I will play through this. Please bear with me here, folks. I know this is a long part, but I did want to show you how I pinned this down so I could come right up and cut the edges off that don't match each other. So it is a little bit of a process. Okay, let's get to cutting this out. And all I'm going to do is come along each side where it's sticking out, basically trimming up the edges from the other piece of the placemat. And so if it's matching up on one side, this one does have a little bit sticking out here. So I'm just going to come right on in there and trim it up. And then I'm going to flip it over because I have this side now sticking out. And I'm going to cut right on down. And I'm just trying to be careful so that I don't cut any deeper. And then here you can see that's quite a bit to cut off. So I'm going to come on this side and I'm going to start here. And I'm going to just follow the pattern from the top leaf. And now those two match up. So once again, I do apologize for the length of this little segment, but as you can see here, it can be a little difficult to see the different pattern, one from the top and one from the bottom, because they are the same colors. So you want to make sure that you're going around this and you're cutting off what is hanging over on one side and then flipping it over and cutting off what is hanging over on the other side. The reason we're doing this is because the leaves were exactly the same. So when you had the top sides showing, those are your right sides. So when you put your wrong sides together, you had two opposite leaves. So you had to match them up the best you can, or I did, and then you would trim off any of the extra to create your own little leaf now, and it's ready to become a pillow. Okay, let's take a peek, see if we've gotten all our corners. And, oh, look at there, I forgot the very tip down here. And that'll do it. Okay, so instead of pinning the greens together and doing the same thing that I did with the burgundy, I just pinned the burgundy on top of each green. And that way they are the same, and it's just so much easier to see when you have that contrasting color. So all I need to do now is trim out the green off of this red, this burgundy, and then we'll get to stitching and decorating this faux suede pillow. It will be. It was a placemat, but now it's going to be a pillow. So now I have them trimmed out, and they should match each other when I put the wrong sides together. And if not, then I've done a big boo-boo. So let's put the burgundy ones together. And we are looking good. All right. So that will need to be stitched. Perfect. Now I'll get ready to show you what's next. I wanted a little bit of a rustic edge on the outside of these pillows, and so I took one of my little pieces of cotton and I folded it in half, and I'm just going to cut one out of the fabric folded in half so I can have a piece in between the green and a piece in between the burgundy. So I'm just going to do a quick little pin down on this, and I am going to cut outside the edge so that I know I have enough to go outside of when I'm stitching around each of these leaves. I want to make sure I have some of that on the outside because I'm going to stitch with the wrong sides together so that I can have the stitching all being shown on this outside here. Well guys, I was in the middle of getting this video done for you and Hurricane Helena hit. So this is actually Friday morning before it gets bad. I live in Northeast Tennessee, and we fortunately didn't lose a whole lot of anything, praise God, but so many in our area did. So things got changed up a little bit. Let me show you. Well, y'all, all I can say is, oh my goodness. You know, I had this about ready. Well, I was filming it, and of course Friday morning Hurricane Helena hit. Now I live in Northeast Tennessee, guys, so I did we were affected, but we didn't lose a lot of stuff, so you know, we're just praising God for that. House is great. We had to use a shop vac, a squeegee, dehumidifiers, just to try to get some of that out of the basement as best we can. I decided I was going to just continue on without filming, and I created the green pillow, and I'm not going to show you that right now. I actually used the Fabri-Tac glue. Now I'm a sewer, not a gluer, so I think it would have been better if I wasn't doing it by oil lamps and candles. But, you know, we do what we need to do when, you know, we're kind of stuck. I had mentioned that I had some fabric I wanted to put across the pillows at one point. Here is one of the fabrics, which is just great. It fits the green and that rust color real nice. I've already tore these, so I'm trying to just get you caught up a little bit. And then here's some cotton that I've done, and I did some of this burgundy, and I did some of this green. And so I have my rusty burgundy one here. It's like some light it looks rusty, and other light it looks burgundy. It matches my sofa, so I don't care. So there's that. And then here is the just the fabric that I just tore, and then I added a piece of the lace in there because I did add lace around the outside. So I did use, like I said, I used the Fabri-Tac, and I used an old pillow, a new pillow. That's what I usually do for my stuffing, is I use a pillow. It's less expensive, it's much softer, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just this is how I was holding the glue together, as it's like I would use the Fabri-Tac and I would hold those pieces together with my clothespins. I was just getting very creative. I knew that I didn't want to use straight pins in there to hold that with the glue, so this worked very well on the outside. I just wanted to share that. I am, if I start to slow down talking, I just want you to know that I ended up with pleurisy, and so I am actually still kind of getting over that, and so I get a little short of breath. So I have one side, and then I just wanted a piece of this, like just some cotton, just to pop in there so I can cut around it. I need to see if that's, I think it's the other way. Remember, we had to cut these out. Well, you remember because you were in the video. This for me is about a week and a half later. So, there we go. So all I'm gonna do for this one is I have my tore fabric, my little pieces of fabric there. And I have my bottom, I have my two pieces, my two, forgive me, my two placemats. And I have my pins, my straight pins. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin this together first. And then I'm going to trim up the edge just a little bit more so that I can go in and make sure I've got that lace around the edges there. So first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my tips are meeting where they need to meet. So I'm just going to place these sporadically around where some of these tips are, so that when I go in and trim this, I'm not trimming away from an area that, you know, I'll know exactly where the other side is because they're pinned together. So here I just wanted to show you how I'm doing the tips. Just wanted to make sure each tip is together, and then I'm going to pin it so it's going to stay together in that perfect form. In between here, I'm going to leave open so we can actually come in and stuff. So I'm going to leave that open. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my sewing machine. It's all ready, and I'm just going to sew along the outside edge of this so that you can still see that cream red on there. I may put a few more safety pins, a few more straight pins. Ooh, girl, in here, and go ahead and get that stitched, and we'll be back. Okay, so I have the first stitch around on this. Pull those pins out of my shirt. There. So I'm just going to go around with my scissors now and just trim up the cotton off the sides, and I'm going to do it just right up next to the material. All right, y'all, I went ahead and went around it twice, did messy stitches, because now I'm going to come on in and I'm going to rough up the edges around here. So this one, I'm just going to come in. I might just cut off. Let's see. These are not my fabric scissors, so I'm going to come in and take those tips off right there, so I can come in and just rough that up. So I just want to age it up a little bit. I got this tip from Linda. Linda's DIY Designs. I'll say, excuse me, I'll save her channel in the comments below. If you don't know her already, I'm sure you do, go check her out. She is absolutely wonderful. I get a lot of inspiration from her. She has wonderful ideas, and not only that, she shares patterns that she creates on her blog. So, because my brain, I'm steroid brain right now, you would think that I'd be able to remember things, but that's okay. Okay, so I've got this roughed up, and I have some vintage photo distressed oxide ink, and I am going to take the lid off of that and get my little dauber here. Now I want this kind of be really juicy, so I actually have this distress refresher, and it's for your distressed oxide inks. So I'm just going to pull this out of the way and give it a good spray. And I'm going to let that soak on in there and rehydrate that ink. Now, while that's soaking in there, on the green one, I put some lace around the edge. This one's more primitive than it is, oh goodness. This one's more primitive than it is just your farmhouse. It's a primitive farmhouse, and so I'm not sure if I want that lace on there. On this particular one, because I just went around it all the way around on both sides, and it definitely brought the pillow up a notch to more of your basic farmhouse. But I think what I'm going to do here is just maybe ink the edges, and what I might do is go ahead and start stuffing it so that I can get it closed up, and then ink the edges when it's all full. Since the basement got flooded, I don't even want to look in those boxes right now. We got the water all vacuumed up and the dehydrator going on. Dehumidifier. Dehydrate all my stuff down there. The dehumidifier going on. And let's see if I can use that a little better. And that way when they're a little more dried out, that way I'm not taking soaking wet stuff out of boxes. But in the meantime, just going to continue to do this. Now guys, if you're still with me, I do hope you'll consider to subscribe to my channel. I have been off and on for a little bit. I had a lot happening, and I mean, life happens, but I do have autoimmune disorders, and I do deal with chronic pain, and I'm really trying to just set a time, because crafting really does help get my mind off of stuff. I do not work outside the home because I can't. Okay, so I'm just going back around. I've gotten this all sewn together, and so the last part that got sewn was right up in this area here. So I'm just going to rough that up a little bit. I do have on my hot glue gun heating up, but I also have my Fabri-Tac here. I've had my ink soaking. I distressed ink to re-ink it. Well, not to re-ink it, but to bring it back to life. So let's get my little finger dauber right here. Look at that. Nice and juicy. Nice and juicy. So I'm just going to come right along those edges. Look how easy that is. And so I'm just going to go all around my edges here. I'm sorry. So I'm going to take a little bit of this ink and I'm going to just do some spots on here, like down here. Just darken that up a little bit. Down around here. I'm just going to do a little bit along those stitch lines. Just enough to brush over a little bit. Enhance them. Okay, so here we have the side that has been enhanced pretty well with some of that ink, and here we have the side that has not. So I'm going to come in and do this one, and we are almost done. So I'm going to let that ink kind of dry a minute on there. This oxide does take just a few minutes, not even a few minutes, it just takes a little bit to dry. So I mean, it's a good ink you can work with. I am going to add a little bit here on my scrap fabrics, because if I don't, they're going to look fairly new while the other looks fairly aged. So I'm just going to come in and lay it down and just like right around, because it's already cream, this one is. So I'm just going to add some to the top of that lace. I'll do this side. I'll try to do the same colors at the same time so I don't forget what I've done on one side. My lid on that ink. So I have my Fabri-Tac, I have my hot glue heating up. So I just want to look at my sides. I've got this one here. I think I'll do this side. I am going to get some Fabri-Tac right on here, and then I'm going to dab a little hot glue there to help hold it while this Fabri-Tac grabs. I'm just going to go right across, just like that. And I'm going to come right on in with a little bit of hot glue right there on the bottom. And that's going to help it grab for me right now while these dry. And I'm going to just put a clothespin there to help hold that in that Fabri-Tac. Alright guys, it's time to make a bow, and it's just going to be a bunny bow, super easy. 2 fingers, 2 loops up, around, and down, super easy. It's messy, but it's exactly what I wanted for this project. I want these other colors to be seen. I'm just going to mess it up. And I think that's all I'm going to do with this one. Now I'm going to take some pictures of both the green and the burgundy one. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'm so glad that you did. I do apologize for my voice and just having to take so much time to do this, but I do appreciate you spending time with me during your day. Guys, please consider subscribing if you've not already subscribed. Hit that like button if you like this kind of video. It will send an algorithm. It will help correct my algorithm. How about that? It'll help correct my algorithm and get me back on track. I do appreciate you. as always, stay safe. God bless. Bye for now. Well, y'all, that's it. These are the 2 leaf pillows that I made out of placemats. And those 2 in the middle, right there, those were also made out of placemats, but I did that years ago. So I really enjoyed doing this video for you. Thanks for spending time with me, guys. Have a great day. God bless.